What up? I'm back. My friend Ryan Gull here on my last video asked me a question. If it's possible to create a sum column in React table. That is a great question. So I'm going to walk you through on how to get started doing that. Obviously there's a lot of ways you can do that, but I'll show you one way. So let's get into it. All right, so this is a React table here, and we can, let's see, come into examples right here. And there is, let's see, an editable data sandbox that we can start to play around with right here. So going to open this sandbox, and we're going to use that to get things going. Loads you into a little React table, very simple, very basic. And it's got some columns here that we can edit. And when we unfocus the column, it edits the data. It's pretty straightforward. So without further ado, let's get into the actual sum cell. So first we need to, let's see, create some cells that we're going to sum. I'm actually just going to get rid of this global header right here really quick. And this info header, we're just going to have these ones right here. And I'm going to get rid, we'll do first name and last name. Last name doesn't really matter, I guess. Age, visits, status, and profile progress also don't matter. We'll just change this to, score 1. And we'll do another one that's score 2, score 3. And then this is going to be total score. And the successor is going to be interesting here. First, we need to make sure that we have the data for all of this. And I have a little package that comes with these, not a package, it's a file called make data that comes with these examples that can help you create and fabricate data to play around with. Let's see if we can do that. Let's go into make data for this example. And let's see, we don't need a last name. Age, visit, progress. In fact, let's use the progress logic. Get rid of status. So this will be score 1 and score 2 and 3. We'll just create some random numbers between 1 and 100. And then this total score column over there is what's going to be, in fact, I wonder if we can flip this preview layout. There we go. Now you can see all the columns. So, all right, back to Ryan's question is, can we create a column that sums other columns together? And he wanted it to be editable too. The answer is yes. So in this situation, we do have editable scores here, right? And since we're putting them into a edit box, an editable box, we're going to want to make sure that that's a number box and that we're getting a number from it. So for this example, I'm going to go get our editable cell renderer right here. And on change, I'm going to what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say const value equals that. I'm going to say value, if value does not equal blank, then I want you to parse int value base of 10. Otherwise, I don't want you to set it at all. So actually, we're going to put this out here. We're going to say, if value does not equal that, then, no. We're just going to parse it all the time. That's what we're going to do. All right, and then let's see, get that. value equals eTarget value, parse int. Okay, and then when we blur, we're going to update the actual value. And then right here, I'm going to change this input to a type number. And now you'll see we have a little number incrementers right there. In fact, one thing we're going to need to do here is this needs to be, we need to have a couple of different editable cell types then. So we're going to take this. This is an editable number cell. And this is going to be an editable text cell. And we're just going to make it so that you can't edit the first name. So if we come down here to our column definitions, we are, instead of putting this editable cell on the default column, we're not going to use the default column anymore because we don't want every single cell to be editable. So we're just going to put that render on the ones that are editable. So we're going to say cell, editable cell. Oh, this is editable number cell. And we're going to put that on the score cells, but not the visits cell. Let's see. You can make the state change. So Ryan asked, can we make the state change happen on change instead of blur? You can, but you got to remember that it will update the entire table. It will redo sorting and filtering and everything as you're updating it. So really, that's just, you have to weigh your options, which is going to be more performant, right? We can fiddle around with that here in a second. So as you'll see, this first name Rabbit is not editable, but score 8 is, and we're changing it around. So finally, to answer the question, can you do a cell that adds them all together? Absolutely. So if you do an accessor here, it gives you the row, and you can return whatever you want in this row. We can just return 0 for now. We'll get total score 0. Or what we can do is we can do, we're going to do row.score1, row.score2, row.score3. We're going to reduce these, and we'll say sum current, return the sum plus current, and we'll start with 0. Get rid of that accessor, and now you can see it's summing these together. So if we come in here and change this down here and blur off, it updates. Put it to 0, put that to 0. Oh, you're right. Still have both of them are score 2s, don't I? So score 2. Yeah, this needs to be score 3. Good catch, Ryan. So let's go back. We can hit this to 0, 0, 0. Total score 0. Let's see, 100, 150, 250. Cool. So this total score cell is, this column is just summing together our actual model. And this is really great. You know, this could just be a display cell where we take the calculated, like if we just wanted to display this instead, say instead of an accessor, we did, let's just copy this. And we'll do cell. Get rid of this accessor. And instead of row, we'd get the cell information here. So we could do row original. And see, you're still getting the same exact thing, right? But this total score now doesn't have a data model behind it. And that, in my opinion, is lame. Let me tell you why. Because the minute that we want to add something like sorting or filtering on this total score column, we can't do that. In fact, let's do that right now just to show you. So I'm going to bring in the use sort by hook, plugin hook from React Table that enables sorting. I'm going to come down here to my table implementation and add the sort by It said, well, was that a nice little handy error that we got there? I just added that, so let's see. I'm pretty sure that use sort by has to be before pagination. And that's why we were getting the error. Error messages aren't that great in Code Sandbox sometimes, but that's what you would have seen. So now we have the use sort by functionality in here. And then right here in our get header props for the header, we're going to also do column dot get sort by toggle props and call that, pass that to the get header props. We're going to compose those together. So now these are now sortable, right? And you can see that we can sort the total score as well. And so if we come over here and slowly bring this down, actually it's not resorting, isn't that funny? Oh, we might not have been sorted at all. My bad. There we go. So you can see as we increment this up to 14, humor will move down below day. There we go. I didn't add the sorting states to the column, so I didn't know if they were sorted or not. Now the last question that Ryan had, Ryan says, didn't know you could make the accessor a function. Yeah, that is one of the most powerful features of React Table. You can make the accessor anything you want. You can even materialize data if you want on the fly, which is pretty sweet. So the very last question he had is, can we make the state change happen on change instead of blur? Absolutely, you can. So it's just going, you got to be careful with performance here because we'll be recalculating the table state every single time it changes. But instead of on blur right here, we could just do on change. So we will say, we'll do a side effect here and we'll say value. Instead of set value here, we're just going to get rid of this. And we'll say on change. Parse int the target value 10. So we'll just directly update the data when things change. We don't need that anymore. And then right here, we can just grab the value straight off the cell, put it in there. There's no more on blur, it's just on change. So now when we come in here, you'll see as I'm incrementing the score, the total score is incrementing as well. So let's sort total score, and we can just see as we increment this score 3 that it will start to sort higher. We'll hold it down. Sweet. All right, that was a great example and a great question. Ryan Goal, thank you for asking that question. That was fantastic. So I'm going to flip this preview layout one more time and just show you an overview again. We've got an editable number cell that is just tracking on change and updating. It's calling this update my data. This is actually just part of the editable cell example, but update my data is just a function that we sent to our table right here. We just put it in our table options and it becomes available everywhere the instance is available. And then update my data actually is in our very top level implementation. So we say when this function gets called, we take the row index, the column ID, and the new value, and we just map through the old data and update it with the new value. We have some things to make sure that we're not skipping the page, that we're not changing the page while we're changing the data. But if we sort, it will actually update that. Yeah, so I will post this code sandbox I'll post a link to this code sandbox actually. Let me see if I can grab it right here. I'll paste a link to this in the description for this YouTube video. And let's see, we got one more question from Ryan. Nice. Is total score in the table state now or just being displayed? Well, since we're using an accessor, it's actually in the state. It's in the data model. So you could write down, let's see, right here, we're getting our app, table state. So if we were to grab the, let's see, console log, the rows, if we were to console log the rows coming out of React table, oh, we need to add it because we're just doing the individual page. So these are all the rows coming out of React table now. You can see that we have the original only has score 1, 2, and 3, right? But if you look at values, which values are the materialized column structure for the table, you've got the total score right there. So if we wanted to like export or get the materialized matrix for all of this data now, we could say rows map, and we could go get the row. Let's see, it would be row values, right? And then if you want, we can JSON stringify that for kicks and giggles. That's not showing new line breaks right there, so we'll open this console. Oh, come on, console. It's not that bad. Let's see, JSON stringify. Oh, I guess it would show line breaks inside of there. But yeah, you can see this is basically your table state now, materialized. So you have total scores in there as well. So that is that. I hope that answered your question, Ryan. This is a great example for how to materialize data from something on the table model, which is accessor, or something that's just being displayed in the table like so. So hope this was helpful to you guys. Thank you again for watching. Remember, React table is a library that I built. It's on GitHub right now. It seems to be pretty good. I use it at my startup, nozzle.io, and I use it basically anywhere else I need a table. If you like React table, make sure to become a patron on Patreon. I love making these videos, and I love working on React table, and patrons help me do that. As you can see, working towards some React table training videos, tutorials, and courses, and more videos like this, basically. So be sure to do that. And also, if you're curious, you can go check out nozzle.io. It is an enterprise keyword rank tracker. We know everything Google knows. We've got the most data available on Google meta-analytics than probably any other SEO analytics provider. So come check us out. If you need enterprise rank tracking, we're your answer. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.